Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool pinball repair video for you this evening. We've been working on this Williams Black Knight for a customer for a while now. We've done several videos on it, and we're down to the point where we've got the game boards working, the MPU, the soundboard, the driver board. We put the new displays in, and the thing is up and running, obviously. But if you didn't see those videos, go back and check them out. We went over all kinds of different stuff in them. And we are now to the point where we are going to kind of finish it up so we can play it. So at the end of the video, hopefully we'll have it up and where we can play it. It's got some minor little things going on that hopefully won't be too much trouble to fix. But we'll see. You know, knock on plywood. So it's to the point where we can start a game, but it's got just lots of playability things. So the first thing is one of the balls, whenever we shot it up in this saucer up here, it's still in there. So either that coil doesn't work or the switch doesn't work. I don't think it's going to be the switch. I think it's going to be something with the coil or the driver board driving the coil, because even if the switch couldn't see it, it seems like the game would have tried to eject it at some point, and I don't believe it has. So the ball's still stuck in there. So we're going to check that out first. So the first thing I'm going to do is we'll pop up the play field and look at the switch, see if it seems like it's hitting it, and then look at the coil and see if there's anything obviously damaged on it, and maybe we'll get lucky and it's just a loose wire or something. Okay, folks, so I looked at the switch. It looked fine to me. Everything looks clean, and it was touching and everything. So we're going to go into the test and actually test the coils. We haven't done that yet, even though we fixed the driver board. So if you put it in manual down and then hit the advance button, it takes you into the test, and then you go to auto up. It's doing the displays. Everything's cool. So the second test is the sound test. Sometimes if you exit the sound test while it's doing a sound, it'll lock on and causes you trouble. And then that test is the lamps. I think the only one that's out is this one. It won't be no big deal. We looked at that before. I think everything's cool. Okay, next one. Eight didn't do anything. 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. 8 definitely didn't do anything. Lower eject hole doesn't work. Okay. 12, 13, 14, 20, 21, 22. Okay, so they're all working except for the bell and the eject. So 15. 8 doesn't work. 12, 13, 14 shouldn't work. Twenty, 21, 22 don't do anything. Okay, so we're pretty good. And the bell, it does make a noise. It's just not. Let's see if we can stop it on the bell. I don't know if it'll work. Yeah, so it's doing it over and over again, but it's probably just, it's barely pulsing it. In gameplay, it would pulse it longer and you'd actually get the bell. So that's probably actually fine. Okay, so we've got some kind of problem with the actual coil or the driver, the transistor in the back box, but only for the lower eject hole. Now on the magnet relays, 9 and 10, I heard it do something, but it just went, whoop, whoop. Well, how the hell am I going to tell if a magnet's working? I mean, that probably means it was working, right? The special relay on this particular game is the one that flashes the the general illumination, and that seemed to have worked. The coin lockout, that's the click you keep hearing on the coin door. The left kicker, the right kicker, and the jet bumper we saw. Ball release worked. The lower, upper, all of the drop targets are working. The ball ramp thrower, I heard it doing something somewhere. Something's clicking. The multi-ball release, heard it doing something. So it's our lower eject hole is the only one that's a problem. The one that we just happen to have a ball stuck in. So I'm going to pull the playfield up and we'll check the actual coil and see if there's any kind of issue. Okay, so here's the coil in question. There is the switch in question. So when the ball is sitting on it, it's connecting the switch like it should. And so this coil, whenever it fires, it just moves around and kicks the ball out, right? So all you can really check here is if there's anything obviously wrong with the wiring. That doesn't look great, but if that were messed up, you'd have other stuff messed up too. It wouldn't be just that one coil. And then you can take your multimeter and set it to ohms, and then we're just going to test the ohms from lug to lug. It's got 4.4 ohms. Now, if it was something like 1,000 or higher, it's probably burn up. But it doesn't seem to be burn up. And sometimes you'll have a problem where the wire has broken, and that will make it where there's no resistance across it as well. So sometimes that's your problem. But it looks like this is wired fine. It's just not working. So that's going to be something on the driver board or a connection on the driver board. So we'll look at that here in a second. Now, another thing I noticed was the top right flipper doesn't work. And you can see it's got a new coil and all new shiny hardware because it's probably been acting up for a long time. But one thing I noticed is that this end of stroke switch, let me turn up the brightness here. This end of stroke switch isn't touching. So you need that to be touching good. And then whenever this pulls in, that bar spins around and opens it. And the purpose of that is to make it where it's nice and strong when it starts. And then whenever you open that, it removes a short, which makes the coil weaker so that you can hold it up. You also see that this one's kind of charred a little bit, but it's probably fine. But it's gotten some heat at some point. But you see how the end of stroke switch is closed, and then when it goes all the way out, it opens it up. That's how it ought to be. So 3 of them are working. This is the only one that isn't working. Probably going to be that. The way that it actually gets power is there are 2 sets of switches on the cabinet. So one for the top flipper, one for the bottom flipper. Okay, so we adjusted it. Now it's closed. And it opens when it's all the way in. And you see the smaller blade is moving too. And I cleaned the contacts as well. While we're at it, I also replaced the bulb that was burnt out. And then there's an issue in the shooter lane where the ball is jumping out and it's landing in front of the switch and then staying there. And then there's an issue where basically it doesn't start again. But anyway, if you look, this switch is screwed up. So see how it's closed right now? It shouldn't be like that. It's because the blade should be... Okay, watch this. Like that. This thing. All right, did I do that right? I might. I just nope. It was right before. I just made it worse. I guess it just needs adjusted. Let's see here. Let's put it back out it was before I messed it up. Okay. So it should be like that, but I'm thinking the whole piece is bent. Let me look at another one. Yeah. So see this one? See how whenever the switch is touching the playfield, this bar is pretty much touching the playfield too? On this one, it's touching the playfield, but the bar is bent way up. I don't know how the hell that happened. So that needs to be bent way back. What's going on? Why would it be like that? What's the deal? Alright, so I'm going to mess with that and get it more flat while we're under here and there's obvious stuff. Well, it did fix our light bulb, but that's the easy one. We're going to check the transistors. Now you can actually ground out the tab of the transistor and it will check the wiring. It doesn't really check the actual transistor itself, but it'll tell you if you've got a problem on the plug. And you can just do all of them if you want, but like this one is the relay that does the GI. So when I ground it, it's turning on the relay. So the one that does that eject hole is this one. Or maybe I got the wrong one. Alright, that threw the ball out. Okay, so we know that the wiring's fine. So it's either something that's driving the transistor or that transistor itself. I checked all of them whenever I had it out, but apparently that wasn't good enough. Okay, so we'll get to that here in a second. I kind of want to check the switches before we pull that out, just in case there's a problem with the switch, and then it's on the board too. That thing is a pain to pull out and put back. So now that it ejected the ball, we've got all three balls in the trough, and we messed with this switch. So let's see if we start the game if the ball lands on the switch right. Boy, the soundboard sounds good too. So it's out and it's sitting on the switch instead of in front of it. Okay, and then we had the flipper problem. So there's our left flippers. Let's see if we fixed the right one. We did. So it was just the end of stroke switch. Alright, so I'm going to go through and do like a switch test so we can see if we can find any switches that are obviously a problem. And then we'll make a list so that whenever we pull the board out to do that one transistor, if we have switch problems, we can fix those at that time too. Alright, so we're in switch test and it's telling us that there are 4 switches stuck. 17, 18, 19, and 29. Okay, now 3 of those are going to be the ball trough here. Let me see if I can get these to pop out without killing myself. Let me put my hand down there and touch it in the back. Let me play with this coil here. Alright, that's one ball. Got one out. So let's see what it says now. Now it says 18, 17, and 29. So 19 is empty, or doesn't have the ball on it anymore. There's our next one. So now we're down to 17 and 29. Okay. And then our next one, just 29. And when I hit that one in the lane, it says 45. Okay. So switch 29 is on. Why is switch 29 on? So let's look in the manual and see which switch that even is. So 29 is lower right 3 bank right target. So it's that drop target right there. So ain't no way that should be do like that. They got something funky going on there. Let's go look at it. So you've got these switches. When the drop target goes all the way down, it hits the switch. Okay, and so this one's smashed. Things happen, people. So I'll bend it back straight, how it ought to be. So this is pretty fascinating. On the earlier games, like Flash and stuff like that, the Williams drop targets, They weren't that great. They had a board on the back, and as the drop target fell, there was a little horseshoe contact that like drug across some contacts and made it score. Stuff like Gorgar, they were still like that, but they've changed them on Black Knight, where now all they do is it just hits a switch when the drop target gets all the way down. Much better design, in my opinion. The old way they would. What would happen is the target would drop, and then there was some contacts in the middle it was supposed to hit on the way down, and if it didn't hit them, it didn't know that it dropped, and things like that. Okay, so I guess we can test them. Very cool. All right, so yeah, this is a much better way of doing it. I guess they got tired of having the drop problems. Okay, so those 6 are working good. Yeah, see, that one's not. So you just get minor stuff like this. It's not a big deal. It's just, see, when it drops all the way, it's still not making the switch connect just because it's been bent. Something's hit it. All right, so let me work through, I'll bend that back, and then let me work through the other ones and make sure we get all the drop targets where they work right. Okay, folks, so they're looking pretty good, but 2 of them have a broken diode where it's just snapped. So we'll put those on their 1N 4004 diodes. Something must have hit the bottom of the playfield or something, or it was out of the game and leaning up against the wall or something like that was going on. But I think after that, we might be good to try to play it, because I don't know of anything else that's obviously messed up. Oh, we still have to fix that one. Yeah, we got to mess with the driver board still. Let me put the 2 diodes in, and then I'll pull the driver board out. I think we got all the switches good, and sure enough, when I pulled out the driver board and took that and tested the transistor, it was open. So between the center leg and the outside leg, measuring with my digital multimeter, let me see if I can do it with one hand. Let me see here. I might be able to rig it up here with one hand. You know, somebody was nice enough to send me some leads with like clips on them and stuff. But then I had to take time to swap them out. So you should get something like that. So between the center leg and the outside legs, you get something like that. Between 0.4 and 0.7 or so. Right? And then the same similar thing over here. Between the center leg and the outside leg. I'm trying to get better at chopsticks. 0.465. So again, between 0.4 and 0.7 is a valid voltage drop on a gate. So a transistor, usually that'll test most of them. A lot of them's different, but in general. And when you're doing a board like this, there's 15 of them there. So just check that one compared to that one, and that one compared to that one, and that one compared to that one. Once you test 3 or 4, and that's the one that's different, something's up, right? So that's what was going on. Between the center leg and this leg, I had like 0.5, just like the other ones did. But between the center leg and this leg, I had 0.78 or something like that. It's just a little bit too high. So I guess that wasn't enough to sink it to make the ground pull it in, right? So that's a tip 122 is the part number. Now if you look at this, it doesn't say anything about tip 122. It's because Motorola used their own numbers back in the day. So that 8039, I believe, would be the 39th week of 1980. I may have that wrong, but I think that's what that means. The 8977-1 is Motorola's internal part number. But what this is a tip 122. And I guess they just asked Williams, and Williams told them what the part number was. Or actually, you know what? In the manual it tells you, because I just looked it up. But they just, for whatever reason, they use their own part numbers on a bunch of stuff. Okay, so it's a tip 122, which you can replace with a tip 102. It's a little beefier and works better. So this tip 102 is the same one that works in the Bally's as well. So we're going to replace it with that. And let me show you something new I got here. You're going to love this. Now, a lot of people have asked me before, whenever I solder, do I use a desoldering station? So if you're a hobbyist, right? This is for the hobbyists. This is not for the professionals. If you're a hobbyist, they make this thing, it's like a soldering iron, but it's a vacuum, and so it sucks out the solder. Well, I tried one of those a while back, because I don't mind spending a little money on stuff if it would help me out. But I tried one of those a while back, and I didn't like it because it jams all the time. I mean, those things jam constantly, and then you got to take the whole thing apart to clean it. I just couldn't get the hang of it. I could not get the thing to work right. It's they make one called the Hakko, Hakko, right? So what I've been using for 15, 20 years is just a hand desoldering pump. So you put this, you heat up a solder joint, and then you put this on it, and you hit the button. Oh man, I just threw stuff all over it. You hit the button, and the thing goes up, and it creates a real quick vacuum, and it sucks all the solder out if you do it before it cools off, right? So that's always been my favorite thing to use. But the problem is, they're made in China crap. They just suck. Until today. Look what I bought. Now this is not cheap. That little thing's like $3, right? This is not cheap, but check this out. Is that the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? Vampire Tool Solder Sucker. Now these people are not paying me to run an ad or anything, so this is legit, people. I'm telling you the damn truth. See how it says made in Japan, and that has made all the difference. Made in Japan, it's decent crap, so it's like aluminum or something. And then here's the secret. It has a silicone tip, which is nothing more than a little piece of silicone tube on the end of it. You can take that off. It just pops on the end. So whenever you heat up your solder joint, look at this. You can go like that, and it's flexible. And since it's silicone, it doesn't burn up. I mean, you can still burn it up, but you got to get it really hot. Right? So you can push it right down on your soldering iron, and it won't melt. And so since it's flexible, whenever you hit the button, it like really gets it. Let's see if I can tell by like just sitting it on there. Yeah, it's a heck of a vacuum. So anyway, this thing works great. So if you want one of these, go to our website. We've got a link to it on Amazon, and if you buy one, we get a little piece of it. Not because they're paying us, but because Amazon pays us if you go buy anything on Amazon after clicking one of our links. So everybody that's been doing that, we appreciate it. But yeah, this thing's cool. So I've been looking for one that I could spend a little more money on and get a decent one, you know, because these things burn up. And here, let me prove it to you. You're going to say, oh, he's just running an ad for Vampire Tools. I am not. Look, that's the one I used. I got this kind too. You like that kind? I got this kind. You like that kind? But then I tried that kind. That's kind of cool. And then I thought maybe one in a different color was made by a better company or something. Maybe it would last a little longer. And then the other 50 types I've tried, I've thrown in the trash. But this one, finally a decent one. That's what you need right there, people. Go check it out on our website. Go to lionsarcade.com, go to the parts page. You can get a link to it and get one for yourself. I like them better than the pump because it, you know, you just keep it in your drawer. You don't have to have power to it. It doesn't get clogged as easy. Works great. All right, so I'm gonna put this back in there in my. Look how clean it cleaned out those holes. Look at that. Just take a gander. Are you gandering? Okay, so I'm gonna go put it back in the game with this in it, and then hopefully we can play the thing. Well, frankly, this is a beautiful game. What a great looking game. The back glass is all kind of cracked up a little bit, the paint and everything, and it's, you know, it's in pretty rough shape. But with that said, it still looks great. If this was my game, I don't even think I'd replace the back glass. It's got a lot of wear on it, but it just makes it look old and cool. And I've noticed something here with these inserts. He's going to talk to us here in a minute, I'm sure. See the inserts, how vividly colored they are? Greens, reds. I do a lot of Bally's, and they never really look like that. Not trying, you know, and I like Bally's. But I don't know if they changed the way the inserts were done back around this time or something, or if Williams was doing it, but this is the first one I've really had that I noticed it was so, they were so bright looking. And those are regular bulbs. Maybe the green ones aren't. Maybe I didn't check close enough. Let me see if the green ones are LEDs. I don't believe they are. I think they're all regular bulbs. There's obviously a blue LED up in there, but looks fantastic. I like it. So we'll play it a little bit. I'm just basically testing it. So if you're looking for somebody to play it really good, you're on the wrong channel, people. I'm adding credits. Consider the credits added. Okay. So yet another Steve Ritchie masterpiece. Now we're not doing much. I locked one. We're not doing much in the way of cosmetics because the customer can do that, he said. He's just more interested in us getting it working pretty well. He said he's not good at chip level stuff. He doesn't really want to mess with any chips. So we messed with the chips. I'll tell you what, you play a game like this, you can see why they call Steve Ritchie the king of flow. There's just so many cool shots. Another thing, it's a little bit floaty. In my opinion, the back legs should be up higher. So by floaty, I mean instead of the ball rolling mainly left to right, I mean up and down, it kind of floats a little bit. Sometimes it'll just slowly kind of move because the table's not super steep. Also, the pop bumper bulb is out. I just noticed that. There's our lock that we. I'm gonna have to just ignore the one at the top, people. I'm not gonna be talented enough to run 4 flippers.
One enemy cannot fight the Black Knight again. Will you challenge the Black Knight again?
By the way, I believe that is Steve Ritchie doing the voice.
I will play the knight.
If you don't know, Steve Ritchie also was Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat 2. So the guy that goes, round 1, fight. That's the Black Knight. Oh. Now people, I can't. I like the horse. You can hear the galloping. I like the hoof beats. Oh, I had a magnet save too. I forgot to use it. We'll use it next time. But look how many cool shots there are. There's the one that loops around the arrows up there. That one. That's a cool shot. There's also a real cool one right here that's a horseshoe. Not to mention that ramp there. Like, see that little horseshoe shot? There's just lots of cool shots on it. Uh-oh. Looking through one out the back door. Oh, not quite enough. And then it hit the flipper on the way down. I mean, the spinner on the way down. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Slid it right by me. Did we lose a ball somewhere? Are they both in the trap? They're both in the trap, but it might not know that.
One enemy cannot fight the Black Knight again. Will you challenge the Black Knight again?
Round one. Fight! All right, so I guess maybe the second switch up there is a little touchy. So if it, but it must know that it went up there because it kicked the ball out. I don't know.
I challenge thee to fight me.
I challenge thee to fight me. So there's our kick out there. That worked. There's a lot of little rubbers that the ball hits that don't have a switch on them. Whoop. The ball didn't make it out. We tilted it. We tilted it, people. We got a ball stuck in it or something. I'll be right back. All right. There was the last switch in the trough. The switch was adjusted a little bit too high, so it was sticking up a little bit, and the ball could actually come up to it and touch it, but not actually sit on it. So I lowered it all down a little bit. Hopefully that'll stop those missing ball problems. Like that shot, the blue shot there. Magna save, baby. Works perfect. Ah, but not the second time. Okay, I also looked at the pop bumper. I adjusted it a little bit, so hopefully it's a little snappier. But the light, the leg of the lamp socket is broke, so the whole lamp socket needs to be replaced, unfortunately. But that's not too big of a deal. Whoop. The slings could be a little snappier too.
One enemy cannot fight the Black Knight again. Will you challenge the Black Knight again?
Yeah, I will. One more time, brother.
The Black Knight will slay you.
I got to get a multi-ball started so everybody can see it. If I don't do that, how will everybody tell me how bad I am? Man, I'm all over that drop target. Oh, come on now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, come on now. Oh, caught it behind the flipper. Oh, forgot the Magna save.
One enemy cannot fight the Black Knights again. Will you challenge the Black Knights again?
All right, I'm gonna do it.
I will slay you, my enemy.
No, the hell you won't. Whoop, I didn't quite make it. Missed it. I missed it. Oh, I missed it again. Oh, I missed it again. Come on now. Oh hell, I just realized you could make that shot from the bottom. Wow! It appears to be possible to make the upper loop from the bottom. That shot backwards, you know. Okay, that's one. Got a little bit of a bounce off the end lanes right there. See the bounce? That one didn't. So that new end lane guides would help that a little bit. Little defender sound for you. Oh, the last chance. That was pretty cool. Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
One enemy cannot fight the Black Knights again. Will you challenge the Black Knights again?
One last time, Black Knight.
I challenge thee to fight me.
Oh. Pop bumper's definitely better. Got it all adjusted. The balls are still locked up there in that lock, but I don't think that counts. I think it just releases them out the back and only counts it as one. See? Oh, okay. So I think we've got two locked. Look at this. Look how they do me, and I ain't got no Magna safe. Look, it's actually leaning to the right. Can I death bump it? Death bump, here we go. Oh, come on. I need one more lock. See the two arrows are lit and the third one's flashing? Oh, come on now.
One enemy cannot fight the Black Knights again. Will you challenge the Black Knights again?
One more time, Black Knight.
Black Knights will win again.
You hear that? He's trash talking. After I done fixed him. See, I got one arrow lit. Oh. Hell, I think it's harder to make from the left flipper than it is from the right flipper. Gotta watch that shot down the ramp. All right, still got one locked. No, they took it from me, you see? So now I only got one locked. Two locked.
Fight again. Delay enemy.
The gate's catching the balls for me. I wasted my magna save. See the gate there in the middle? Oh, come on, man. I almost had it. Well, I'm going to have to go ham on it. Something going on there. Might need a little oil. I'll mess with that. Well, we got it started at least. You know, the light show's half the fun. So it's all working. It just needs needs dialed in a little bit. That's one. Defender, baby. Oh. When you hear that defender sound, it means you got a ball left. It releases the locked ball. That's pretty cool. Look, it's not going to let me lock them though because it's my last chance. That's so cool. Wow. What a cool design.
One enemy cannot fight the Black Knight again. Will you challenge the Black Knight again?
Boy, I can see this thing made a bunch of damn money. I'll bet back in the day they played the hell out of this. Yeah, look at the back glass. It's kind of got major issues, but I swear if it was my game, I'd just leave it. It looks cool. I like it. This up here, the reason it's so dark is because they spray painted the back of it, getting the blue back in, but they went a little heavy on it. Once they start cracking like that, folks, whenever it's all over the place, just clear coat them so it don't get worse and leave it. So there you go. Leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. Make sure to give us a thumbs up for filming it. Now, people, let me talk to you about the comments for a little bit. I keep getting the same comments, and this is the stuff that I get. So it'll be Bob Williams, who I've never heard of, never met the guy before in my life, random human on the planet, right? And they just watched a 50-minute video of me playing a Black Knight, having the time of my life. And here's their comment. The light bulb underneath the top left isn't quite working right. That's not helpful in any way. First of all, I won't even have the game anymore. You're talking about one little tiny thing. Who cares? Who cares? I don't care. I don't care. And then you just watched a 50-minute video and all you can comment on is the one thing that you think that you saw that was wrong with it. Now, if you know me and you're standing here next to me and you go, hey man, I think the light up here is a little cirky, I would go, oh yeah, let me see what I can do about that. Right? But if I don't even know you and your only comment is to leave a negative comment, that's not helpful. How is that helpful? Right? So when I say leave your comments down below, here's the comment I'd like to see. Here's what, now I'm not telling people what to say, you can say whatever you want, but whenever somebody says, man, I used to skip school in the 10th grade, let me tell you where we went. We went down to the Dairy Queen, they had 3 of them. I don't know what the hell was going on. They had the Black Knight and the Black, no, you know what, now that I think about it, it was 2 Black Knights and a Firepower, that's right, because my friend was always playing a Firepower. And whenever the guy behind the counter wasn't looking, we'd lift up the front and put tuna fish cans under it. I love those comments, right? So when I say leave your comments down below, try to make them interesting. Don't make it, I don't know. If it was me, I'd have to get a new back glass. Like, come on, people. Come on, people. People, come on now. Come on, people. Come on now. Have a little fun with it, right? So I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. This is William's Black Knight. Now, we mentioned earlier, you can go to our website, check out some stuff. We've got t-shirts and stuff like that on there too, if you're interested in anything like that. Now, even Bob Williams can buy a t-shirt if he wants to. We don't hate you, Bob. We just think you're a very negative human being, and I don't need random negativity in my life. I got enough negativity in my life from people I know and myself, right? I don't need random negativity. So if you're just a random guy, don't leave us negative comments. I'm going to block your ass, and I don't want to keep blocking everybody. So, so yeah, Bob Williams, go get one of our t-shirts if you want. And make sure to check out my brother's channel. Now, if you think I'm crazy, that's because you don't know my brother Donnie very well. My brother Donnie is literally my brother. And everything I am, he...
The Black Knight will play you.
Everything I am, he's a little more extreme, right? So if you think watching us work on these old pinball machines is cool, you would love to see us work on old buildings. So we have bought a couple buildings in a small downtown area near here, small little town around this way. And we bought a couple buildings. Look, there's a light out, Bob. Look, Bob, one of the lights went out. One of the lights went out, Bob. I saw it. You sort of looked before you put the comment. I saw it. We bought a couple buildings in a downtown area near here, and we are fixing them up, trying to help revitalize the downtown of that beautiful little town. You know, a positive thing. I don't go down there and say, oh, one of your street lights is out. My butt hurts. Right? So go check out his channel, my brother Donnie. Make sure to leave your comments below. You can leave the negative comments too, but remember, if you leave a negative comment, I get to respond to the comment. It's only fair, right? And make sure to subscribe to us, because we do stuff like this all the time. If you enjoyed it at all, if you didn't, that's fine too. Have a good evening. Black Knight.